As long as there have been superhero movies, there have been not so super ones as well.
Now you have to admit I helped out on that one. I mean, that was all me, baby.
Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 10 most embarrassing superhero movies.
It was me you flushed down the pipes.
For this list, we're not necessarily looking at the worst movies in the genre, but instead focusing on films that were executed so poorly that the cast and crew might not feel very proud of what they've made, and we in turn might feel bad for them too.
The Fantastic Four.
Number 10, Son of the Mask.
Okay, you give me Alfie, and the mask is yours.
This long-awaited follow-up to 1994's The Mask stars Jamie Kennedy as cartoonist Tim Avery, whose son Alvy is conceived from the power of the mask. Yep, it's as messed up as it sounds. All things considered, it's no wonder that the movie was nominated for 8 Razzie Awards, winning the worst remake or sequel ahead of disasters like The Dukes of Hazzard and Deuce Bigelow, European Gigolo.
Okay, I'm just gonna say it. That was flat out embarrassing.
Son of the Mask ultimately bears no resemblance to its far superior original, and embarrasses a franchise that had so much potential.
Just give me the mask.
I don't have it. I think my dog ate it.
We learned one thing though, you don't make a sequel to a Jim Carrey movie without Jim Carrey.
Ooh, somebody stop me.
Number 9, Blade Trinity.
Forgot my sword.
Wesley Snipes and the vampire-hunting Night Stalkers team up to fight Dracula himself in this Blade installment, which to no one's surprise ensured that the film franchise was put on hold. Trinity took its toll on Snipes, who was unhappy with the studio's decision to allow David S. Goyer to direct, and he might have had a point.
The hell makes you think you know about hunting vampires?
Goyer's vision is unambitious, overly campy, and offers nothing to the saga but a high level of volume. Snipes later sued the writer-director for cutting his scenes in favor of co-stars Ryan Reynolds and Jessica Biel.
Okay, first off, that's just rude. Second, I'm pretty sure we saved your ass back there.
With a rating of 25% on Rotten Tomatoes, it was an embarrassment behind the scenes, and an embarrassment at the box office too.
What, you amateurs are supposed to be helping me?
Number 8, Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D.
So, we meet again, Fury.
Well, I'm not surprised, Pincer. Guys like you tend to cling to the bowl no matter how many times you flush.
These days, it's hard to imagine anyone other than Samuel L. Jackson playing Nick Fury.
Who the hell are you? Nick Fury, director of S.H.I.E.L.D.
It's even harder to imagine that David Hasselhoff once played the role too. Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. does indeed star Hasselhoff as Fury, who returns to action after the reformation of terrorist organization Hydra. Sound familiar?
How's Hydra's dental plan?
Hasselhoff actually does little wrong as the eye patch wearing super spy, but he's also given little to work with by writer and embarrassing superhero movie authority David S. Goyer.
I'll get that vampire's blood if I have to suck it from her neck.
Ultimately, it was a decade before S.H.I.E.L.D. got an official DVD release. Perhaps director Rod Hardy, who went on to work on The X-Files, wasn't rushing to let the world know that he was involved in this particular movie.
I will see you in hell for this.
We'll do lunch.
Number 7, The Fantastic Four.
Blame on!
Back in the 90s, when Constantine Film held the rights to Marvel's supergroup, there came the first of what would be a long line of lazy Fantastic Four origin stories.
Come on, doesn't that bother anybody just a little?
Reed Richards and Ben Grimm are college pals who later go into space with Sue and Johnny Storm, and you know the rest.
Look, I say we go for it, huh? I mean, what have we got to lose?
Almost the entire budget of this particular adaptation went towards the thing's suit, and concerns over the film's obvious cheapness led producers to disallow its release.
Look at me!
The bootleg recording might have higher ratings than 2015's Fan 4-Stick, but at least the producers of that reboot weren't trying to hide their movie's existence.
Besides, we are the Fantastic Four, right?
Number 6, The Spirit.
Shut up and bleed.
Even the best comic book writers can struggle when it comes to adapting their work.
I'm gonna kill you all kinds of dead.
After the success of 2005's Sin City, Frank Miller returned to the big screen with The Spirit, which stars Gabriel Macht as a cop murdered and reborn to watch over his city from the shadows.
Hands behind your head.
Your wish is my command.
This time, Miller would write and direct alone, and while The Spirit may look like Sin City, it has none of its originality, subtlety, or spirit.
Free-range chickens with their big, brown, ugly-ass eggs. They piss me off.
Samuel L. Jackson co-stars in a performance that is over the top even by his standards, and Miller has yet to direct on his own ever since.
Somebody get me a tie, and it sure as hell better be red. Okay, boy, but this time you better know your place.
Number 5, Catwoman.
Oh, you're crazy.
Tim Burton's Batman Returns opened audiences' eyes to the wonderfully complex character that is Selina Kyle.
You're catnip to a girl like me. Handsome, dazed, and to die for.
12 years later, DC gave the Batman villainess her own movie, without Batman. They also renamed her Patience Phillips for seemingly no good reason.
Now, what's your name?
Patience Phillips. But this cat.
Sure, Patience. And it's a real beauty.
As far as we can tell, the Catwoman title was just an excuse to put Halle Berry in a tight leather costume.
Cats come when they feel like it, not when they're told.
Once you get over the cat puns and ancient Egyptian rituals, what you have left is bad CGI and 5 minutes of action put together so sloppily that it might have been directed by an actual cat. Needless to say, the director hasn't made a film for theatrical release since, while Berry famously accepted her Razzie Award in person, holding the Oscar she won. Classy.
I never in my life thought I would be up here. Winning a Razzie!
Number 4, Judge Dredd.
I am the law!
When Rob Schneider isn't the worst thing in your movie, you know you're into something dreadful.
Oh my God!
Sylvester Stallone finds himself on the wrong side of the law in this lazy adaptation of a unique superhero. Combining elements from Blade Runner, Sly's own Demolition Man, and many other more interesting IPs, the writers rehash ideas from other movies, spending so much of their time trying to play to Stallone's strengths that Dredd loses any sort of character.
I knew you'd say that.
While it has gained a cult following in recent years, Stallone himself has criticized the film, claiming that he and director Danny Cannon didn't properly communicate during production.
The best thing you can do is kill me.
Number 3, Superman 4, The Quest for Peace.
Stop! Don't do it! The people!
The fourth film in the Christopher Reeve era sees the return of Gene Hackman's Lex Luthor, who creates the superhuman Nuclear Man and blows up any chance of a 5th Superman entry. The cast clearly lost interest after the initial trilogy, but they drag along an empty script for quite a while.
It's common knowledge that you hate children and animals, Luthor. What are you doing back in Metropolis?
Because I want to be the first to introduce you to the new kid on the block.
However, it's the visual effects that really bring the film down, and the action is somehow worse than the previous 3 installments.
If you will not tell me, I will hurt people.
Reeves' paralysis in 1995 meant that the series could never recover, and it was almost 20 years before Warner Brothers attempted a reboot.
It's as it always was, on the brink, with good fighting evil. See you in 20.
Number 2, Batman and Robin.
No sign of the snowman.
Maybe he melted.
No, he's just hibernating.
8 years before the saving grace that was Batman Begins, star George Clooney thought he had destroyed Batman as a big screen character with this comic book parody.
I could have made that jump.
And you could have splattered your brains all over the side of the building.
Initially a sequel to Batman Forever, Batman and Robin follows the dynamic duo as they take on Arnold Schwarzenegger's Mr. Freeze.
My name is Freeze. Learn it well, for it's the chilling sound of your doom.
Almost everything that comes out of Arnie's mouth is a cheesy one-liner.
Let's kick some ice.
In a script written by Akiva Goldman, the same man who won an Academy Award for 2001's A Beautiful Mind.
I think this class will be a waste of your, and what is infinitely worse, my time.
It actually passes the so bad it's good mark before it's halfway done, and not even a star-studded cast could help keep the franchise alive.
Yes, it's my rules. My rules that keep us alive, and if you want to stay in this house and on this team, you will abide by them.
This is no partnership. You're never gonna trust me.
Before we unveil our number 1 pick, here are a few honorable, or in this case, dishonorable mentions.
Who sent you?
Batman.
You know, when you said you were gonna kill everyone, I thought you may just have been exaggerating.
Yeah. Do I look like a man who exaggerates?
You're welcome.
But I think I swallowed a frog. I hope it wasn't an ancestor.
That was fun.
Number 1, Steel.
You should always buckle up.
Shaquille O'Neal, basketball legend, TV personality, honorary U.S. Deputy Marshal, but lead actor in a superhero movie? Not so much.
Work in progress. Did you see the look on those kids' faces?
Steel stars Shaq as John Henry Irons by day, a former weapons designer and all-round good guy, but by night he's a crime-fighting block of metal.
Give it up!
Ice his metal ass!
One of 4 characters DC Comics introduced after its Death of Superman arc, Irons could be considered the least popular, and this movie somehow makes him even less appealing.
See for yourselves. I'll let my hammer speak for itself. Just hit it right there on the bottom.
Despite its awful performances, superhero cliches, and hard-to-forget basketball puns, you would be forgiven for not knowing that this particular movie even existed. And O'Neal, along with the rest of the world, probably wishes it didn't.
Never could make the free throws.
Do you agree with our list? Which superhero movie do you feel embarrassed just for watching?
We had some good times here.
We? I mean, you had some good times here.
For more entertaining top 10s published every day, be sure to subscribe to WatchMojo.com.
It's the first time I've fallen and you weren't there to catch me.
I figured you could handle it. You know, Dick, sometimes counting on somebody else is the only way to win.